Sunspire Academy, a sprawling space station that orbits a distant star, was the most prestigious training ground in the galaxy. Students from all over the universe came to learn the art of combat, diplomacy, and survival. The best of the best trained here, advanced species with centuries of knowledge, sophisticated technology, and peaceable ways of life. At Sunspire, battle strategies were taught with simulations, weapons were wielded with high-tech equipment, and students trained in environments designed for learning, not danger. But everything changed when Jack Razor Williams, a 16-year-old human, stepped onto the Academy's metal floors. Humanity was known for one thing in the galaxy: surviving on the most dangerous planet in existence. Earth, a death world as it was called, had wildlife that could tear an alien apart in seconds, storms that would wipe out whole cities, and terrain so harsh that only the toughest could thrive. For humans, survival wasn't an option, it was a way of life. And Jack, having spent his whole life battling these dangers, was about to show Sunspire Academy that humans didn't need fancy tech or simulations to survive. They only needed their instincts. When Jack arrived at Sunspire Academy, he was met with curious and skeptical stares. Alien students, born and raised on planets where danger was just a story in history books, couldn't understand how a human could be anything more than a primitive species. Jack's reputation, earned from surviving the wilds of Earth, made the Academy's leaders nervous. They had no idea how to teach him, or if he even belonged in a place so focused on technology and peaceful training. The first day of training was a wake-up call for the other students. The combat session was supposed to be a simple sparring match. The aliens had their powerful weapons and combat suits, all designed for maximum efficiency. Jack, however, didn't need any of that. With only his instincts and his bare hands, he stepped into the ring. His opponent, a highly trained alien from a peaceful planet, was confident. After all, he'd never faced a creature that wasn't part of a carefully controlled training simulation. But Jack wasn't here to fight with technology. He was here to show what real combat was. The first move was all Jack needed. The alien threw a punch, and Jack dodged it effortlessly, moving faster than the alien could react. With a quick motion, Jack disarmed him, then pinned him to the floor in less than 5 seconds. The alien, stunned and breathless, couldn't understand what had just happened. Jack had used no high-tech weaponry, no gadgets, just his human strength and speed. The other students were left speechless. They had spent their entire lives perfecting their combat skills, but here was a human, a primitive species, who defeated their best fighter in seconds. Jack's methods were strange to the Academy. While the alien students were used to simulated combat in carefully controlled environments, Jack had spent years training in real life-threatening situations. He was used to fighting dangerous creatures, enduring extreme conditions, and surviving on his own in some of Earth's most unforgiving landscapes. His training wasn't designed to be pretty, it was designed to keep him alive. And that's exactly what he showed his fellow students. Instead of relying on simulations or tech, Jack trained with real weapons. He put his life on the line in every exercise. When the other students hesitated to take risks, Jack didn't flinch. While their strategies depended on calculated moves, Jack's strategy was simple: survive at all costs. As the days passed, the other students began to realize that there was something different about Jack. His relentless approach to combat and survival was unlike anything they had seen before. While they relied on technology to give them an edge, Jack used his sheer will and human determination. Slowly, some of the students began to change their perspectives. What they had once thought of as barbaric, Jack's brutal fighting style and his willingness to use live ammo was starting to seem like the only way to truly prepare for the unknown. The final test came during a survival mission on a deadly planet, an environment designed to push students to their limits. The planet was filled with dangerous creatures, toxic plants, and unpredictable weather. It was a place where no alien species had ever survived without advanced technology. But for Jack and his team of humans and aliens, this was just another day. While the alien students struggled to find shelter and used their tech to scan the area, Jack used his Earth-honed skills to guide them through the hostile landscape. He recognized the signs of a storm brewing long before the sensors did, and he led the group to shelter using nothing but his instincts. When a group of deadly creatures attacked, the alien students froze, relying on their weapons that weren't strong enough to keep the beasts at bay. But Jack moved quickly, using traps and tactics honed from years of living on a deadly world. By the end of the test, Jack had led his team to safety, and the alien students were in awe. They had seen simulations of survival before, but never had they experienced the raw, unrelenting force of real survival. Jack didn't rely on gadgets or technology. He relied on his instincts, his ability to adapt, and his experience facing the harshest conditions imaginable. Jack's victory was not just a win for him, it was a win for humanity. The other species at Sunspire Academy had underestimated humans for too long. They had thought of them as primitive, weak, and unworthy of the Academy's training. But now, they saw the truth. Humans, with their fierce survival instincts and relentless will to live, were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. After the mission, the Academy's leaders had no choice but to acknowledge what Jack had proven. Earth's deadly environment had turned humans into the ultimate survivors. Sunspire Academy began to shift its curriculum, incorporating human survival tactics into its programs. Alien students, once doubtful of humanity's place in the galaxy, now saw humans as an invaluable asset. Jack had shown the galaxy that survival wasn't about technology or strength, it was about the will to keep going, no matter what. And in the galaxy's future, humans were going to lead the way. Sunspire Academy was a place where the galaxy's greatest warriors were forged. Students from peaceful planets and advanced alien species came here to learn everything about combat, strategy, and survival. Technology and simulations were the cornerstone of their training, ensuring that the students never had to face real danger. They were taught to fight with precision, using high-tech weapons and controlled environments designed for maximum efficiency. Safety, accuracy, and control were the key lessons of Sunspire Academy. But everything changed when a group of humans, known as Deathworlders, arrived at the Academy. Eamon was a student from a peaceful planet where the most dangerous thing he faced was a broken training module. He was proud of his species' advanced technology, which made them the most efficient in the galaxy. His training at Sunspire had been meticulous, relying on simulations and high-tech gear to prepare for battles. To Eamon, humanity's reputation for being primitive seemed laughable. After all, how could a species from a violent planet have anything to offer? But all of that changed when Emily Storm Jones arrived. Emily was a human like no other. She wasn't afraid to take risks. She had been fighting dangerous creatures and surviving on Earth's hostile terrain since she was a child. When she stepped into the training hall for the first time, her appearance alone made the alien students take notice. Unlike the sleek, high-tech suits worn by others, Emily wore simple, worn gear that had seen far more real-world action than any of their advanced armor. Eamon watched in disbelief as she introduced herself. "We train with live ammo," she said. "No simulations. We survive for real or not at all." The other students were stunned. What was she talking about? Training with live ammo was dangerous, reckless even. The Academy had never allowed such a thing. But Emily wasn't about to let anyone stop her. She wasn't here for simulation. She was here to show the Academy how real survival was done. The first combat drill was an eye-opener. The alien students lined up in their protective gear, eager to show off their high-tech weapons. Emily, however, didn't even flinch. She stood in the middle of the arena with just a rifle, and when the signal was given, she immediately fired live rounds at the targets, real targets that moved unpredictably. The students watched in shock as Emily's shots hit the mark with brutal precision. They had trained with holographic targets, but Emily was shooting live, moving creatures from a distant planet using real weapons, no backup. "Now, who wants to go next?" Emily asked, as if the challenge was just another day for her. Some of the alien students hesitated. Eamon, especially, felt uneasy. It felt barbaric, unsophisticated. But after watching Emily's demonstration, he couldn't deny one thing: she was efficient. There was no hesitation in her movements. She was prepared for anything. Over the next few days, Emily continued to push the Academy's limits. She and her team of humans took part in various training exercises where they insisted on using real-world scenarios. While the alien students used their advanced tech to manipulate environments, Emily's group was thrown into the wild, forced to survive in harsh conditions. The Academy had never allowed anything like this before, but Emily's team had made their point clear. You couldn't prepare for real combat by relying on controlled environments. Despite Emily's success, there was resistance. Many of the students, especially those from technologically advanced species, didn't agree with her methods. They felt that her primitive approach to survival wasn't effective. How could they trust someone who trained without high-tech equipment? How could they trust a species that had survived only because of the dangers of their homeworld? Tensions ran high. Some students mocked Emily's team, calling their training methods outdated and reckless. But Emily was undeterred. She knew that what they were learning wasn't just combat, it was survival. And survival didn't care about tech. It was about adaptability, resourcefulness, and the instinct to never give up. The conflict reached a boiling point when a deadly alien species attacked the Academy. It was no longer a simulation. Real danger had arrived. As the alien attackers breached the outer defenses, the Academy's advanced tech failed to contain the threat. The high-tech weapons malfunctioned, and the students who had trained with simulations were left panicking, unsure of how to react to the chaos. But Emily's team had trained for moments like this. They had fought in harsh environments, faced impossible odds, and always come out alive. They knew how to survive. Emily led her team with the precision and strength they had honed on Earth. They used the land to their advantage, setting traps, ambushing the attackers, and turning the alien creatures' advanced technology against them. Their unorthodox methods worked. They fought with a mix of intelligence, resilience, and raw determination that the Academy students had never seen before. When the dust settled, the Academy's leaders were stunned. Emily and her team had managed to repel the attackers, saving the Academy and its students. Eamon and many others had witnessed something extraordinary. Humans weren't just fighters. They were survivors, able to endure against all odds. In the aftermath, Eamon approached Emily. "You were right. It's not about the tech or the simulations. It's about survival." Emily nodded. "Tech can help, but it doesn't make you strong. Your will to survive does." The Academy began to see things differently. They had underestimated humanity. The Deathworlders' approach to survival was raw, but it was effective. As the galaxy's leaders reevaluated their stance on humans, Sunspire Academy shifted its training curriculum. It wasn't just about learning how to fight with advanced tools. It was about learning how to survive in the worst possible situations. And as the Academy adapted, one thing became clear: the Deathworlders had started a revolution. A revolution that would change the way the galaxy trained its warriors forever. Sunspire Academy was the most prestigious training ground in the galaxy. The best warriors, the most intelligent beings, and the strongest species trained there. The Academy was famous for creating the elite of the universe, those who could fight in any war, survive any challenge, and win any battle. Aliens from peaceful planets, equipped with advanced technology and weapons, trained in high-tech simulations and expert-level combat techniques. They believed they were the pinnacle of survival. But that all changed when a group of humans arrived. The humans had a reputation, one that was often misunderstood by the galaxy's elite. Earth was a death world, a planet so dangerous that only the most resourceful, the most resilient beings could survive. On Earth, humans learned to fight from the moment they could walk against wild animals, harsh climates, and deadly environments. Survival wasn't just a skill for them, it was a way of life. When Kyle Beast Davis and his team of human students arrived at Sunspire Academy, they immediately faced resistance. The alien students had never seen combat like this. While they relied on sleek armor, high-tech weapons, and calculated moves, the humans brought something far more unexpected: raw survival instincts. At first, the other students laughed. How could these primitive humans compete with the galaxy's greatest warriors, who had advanced technology at their disposal? How could a species from a dangerous planet survive in the controlled, technologically driven world of Sunspire Academy? But soon, the humans were about to prove that their methods were anything but outdated. Kale had been raised on Earth's deadliest terrains. From the age of 5, he had been taught to survive no fancy weapons, no technology. Just his mind, his strength, and his unyielding will to keep going. Now, at Sunspire Academy, he and his team of human students were ready to show the galaxy how survival truly worked. The first test was meant to be a routine survival exercise, one the Academy had conducted countless times before. Students would be dropped onto an unknown alien planet with hostile environments and dangerous creatures. They had to survive for 48 hours and complete a series of tasks. For the alien students, this was just another challenge to show off their high-tech training. They relied on their scanners, weapons, and suits to help them navigate the unknown. But the humans? They didn't need tech. Kale and his team immediately split up to scout the area. While the alien students were busy checking their equipment, the atmosphere was thick and visibility was low, but Kale didn't panic. He led his team through thick forests of alien plants, using nothing but his instincts and knowledge of survival to guide them. They didn't need scanners to understand their environment. They learned to read the signs: sharp rocks for shelter, plants for food, and sounds that meant danger was near. Back at the academy, the alien students watched in disbelief. They had relied so heavily on their advanced technology and weapons that they hadn't even thought to rely on their senses or instincts. As the humans navigated the planet, setting traps and finding shelter with ease, the alien students were struggling to adapt to the harsh, unpredictable conditions. The human students were not just surviving, they were thriving. Things took a turn when a new alien species launched a surprise attack on the academy. The invaders were fast, deadly, and highly advanced. The academy's top students rushed into action, but their technology failed them. Their weapons malfunctioned, and their high-tech armor couldn't protect them from the sheer brutality of the attackers. The aliens' reliance on technology had made them vulnerable. This is where the humans shone. While the alien students scrambled to use their tech, Kale and his team used their survival experience to turn the tables. They knew that when technology fails, you have to improvise. Kale and his team set up traps, used the environment to their advantage, and fought not with fancy weapons, but with the one thing they knew best: instinct. Kyle, despite being outnumbered, faced down the enemy leader in close combat. The alien, relying on superior tech and enhanced strength, was confident. But Kale didn't fight with gadgets or technology. He fought with years of experience surviving the deadliest situations on Earth. With a swift move, Kale disabled the alien's weapon and took control of the situation. His team followed suit, using their surroundings to trap and overwhelm the attackers. The alien students watched in awe as the humans turned the tide. Their advanced weaponry and technology seemed useless against the humans' ability to adapt and improvise. The alien species had relied so heavily on their tech that they had never considered what it would be like to fight without it. The humans, on the other hand, had always fought with the knowledge that survival was not about tech. It was about adaptability, toughness, and pure instinct. In the aftermath of the battle, the Academy's leaders were forced to reevaluate everything they thought they knew. The humans had proven something invaluable. No matter how advanced the technology, survival was not just about having the best tools. It was about knowing how to survive when all else failed. The Academy's alien students, who had once believed their tech made them invincible, now realized that real survival came from within. Eamon, a student from a peaceful planet who had once looked down on the humans, now approached Cal with newfound respect. "I didn't understand before," Eamon admitted. "We were taught to rely on our technology, but you humans rely on something we can't even grasp." "It's incredible," Kyle smiled. "Survival isn't about having the best tech. It's about using what you've got and trusting yourself to make it through." In the end, Sunspire Academy began to change. The leaders realized that Earth's Deathworlders brought something to the table that no one else had: the perfect balance of skill, intelligence, and resilience. The Academy started to incorporate the humans' raw, survival-focused methods into its training. While the other species relied on technology, the humans showed them that true survival was about more than just weapons, and suits. It was about the will to survive, no matter what. And so, the galaxy's best warriors began to realize something they had never understood before. In a world full of advanced tech, it was the Deathworlders, the humans, who truly knew what it meant to survive. Sunspire Academy stood as the epitome of excellence in military training. The finest minds and fiercest warriors of the galaxy gathered there to sharpen their skills, prepare for battles, and learn the art of leadership. Alien species from every corner of the universe, each with their own advanced technologies and combat strategies, trained within its walls. For years, the Academy had created some of the best warriors known to the galaxy. The students were experts in high-tech weaponry, simulations, and peacekeeping strategies. It was a world of advanced thinking, advanced tools, and advanced training. But everything changed when Earth's Deathworlders arrived. Jack Razor Williams and his team were far from the type of students Sunspire Academy was used to. They came from a planet where the environments were deadly, the wildlife was hostile, and survival wasn't just a skill, it was a way of life. Earth's Deathworlders had learned to survive in the most extreme conditions, using nothing but their instincts, willpower, and raw determination. They had faced monsters and natural disasters that would destroy most species, and they had emerged stronger for it. Now, they were here to show the galaxy how to truly fight T first. The students of Sunspire Academy were skeptical. After all, how could a group of humans often seen as a primitive species teach the elite of the galaxy anything? The Academy students had been trained with the most advanced tech and weapons the galaxy had to offer. They could fight in simulations with perfect precision, using artificial environments and high-tech gadgets. They were top-tier warriors. How could humans, who fought with old-fashioned tactics, possibly compare? But Jack and his team weren't here to play by the Academy's rules. They weren't interested in simulations or perfect strategies. They came to teach the galaxy the one thing it had been missing: how to survive when all else failed. Their first training exercise left the alien students shocked. Jack, his team, and a few of the Academy's most curious students were thrown into a mock battlefield, a controlled environment designed for combat practice. The alien students relied on their high-tech armor, scanners, and virtual weapons. They used simulations to predict every move, thinking they had the upper hand. But Jack didn't need any of that. In the first few minutes of the drill, Jack and his team tossed aside their tech. They didn't need armor to survive. They didn't need virtual weapons. Instead, they relied on live ammunition, basic tools, and the environment around them. They didn't fight with precision. They fought with aggression, with instinct. Every move was unpredictable. Every attack came from angles the alien students hadn't expected. The Academy students watched in disbelief as Jack's team quickly outperformed everyone. While the alien students struggled with the weight of their tech and the restrictions of the simulations, the humans used their surroundings as weapons. Trees became shields. Rocks became projectiles. And when one of the alien students tried to use a safe virtual weapon to take down Jack, the human quickly disarmed him with a quick, brutal move that no one had seen coming. It was raw. It was unrefined, but it worked. The humans proved that survival wasn't about perfect strategy. It was about thinking on your feet, using what you had, and never giving you P.as. The training continued. The difference between the Deathworlders and the Academy students became clear. The aliens were highly skilled with technology, and their training was top-notch when it came to simulations and controlled environments. But Jack and his team had one advantage that no simulation could teach: the ability to survive under real, unpredictable conditions. Then, a new threat emerged: a dangerous alien species unlike anything the Academy had seen before. This new enemy attacked without warning, bypassing the Academy's sophisticated security systems. The peaceful, high-tech methods of Sunspire Academy weren't enough to defend against the assault. The Academy's students, trained in combat through simulations and strategies, were caught off guard. Their technology failed them, and their reliance on calculated tactics left them vulnerable. It was time for the Deathworlders to step in. Jack and his team were called to lead the defense. They knew this wasn't going to be a fight that could be won with technology alone. They had faced true danger before, where survival meant everything. In the heart of the Academy's chaos, they began to implement their unorthodox strategies. First, they used the Academy's own terrain to their advantage. The Sunspire Academy had many defense systems, but those systems were designed to handle typical threats. The Deathworlders quickly identified weaknesses in the environment: hidden passages, unprotected points, and blind spots in the Academy's security. They set traps, used guerrilla tactics, and fought without mercy. Every alien that tried to invade the academy was met with a surprise attack, something they hadn't trained for. As the battle raged on, the alien students began to realize the importance of survival skills. While they had relied on technology, the humans had relied on their instincts. The Deathworlders weren't just fighting, they were surviving, and they were teaching the academy students what it truly meant to survive against impossible odds. When the dust settled, the academy's leaders were forced to acknowledge something they hadn't expected. The Deathworlders had proven that survival was more than just advanced tech and strategies. It was about the will to survive when everything else failed. It was about using your mind, your surroundings, and your instincts to win. The academy students, once skeptical, now began to realize they had been missing a key component to becoming true warriors: the ability to adapt, to fight through adversity without relying on technology. And so, the academy's curriculum began to change. Sunspire Academy began to incorporate human survival methods into its training. They taught their students to think beyond the tech, to embrace the rawness of real-world survival. By the end of their time at Sunspire Academy, Jack and his team had shown the galaxy something invaluable: that no matter how advanced a species might be, true strength lies in the ability to survive. The Academy began to see humans not as weaklings, but as the most dangerous, resilient, and adaptable species in the galaxy. And as the galaxy's warriors prepared for the challenges ahead, they knew one thing for certain: no one knew how to fight like the Deathworlders.